Today, from the Los Angeles Coliseum in Los Angeles, California, it's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Raiders. Brought to you by Honda All-Terrain Vehicles. Honda, follow the leader. By Canon, so advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography. And by GTE, advancing technology in telecommunications and electrical products.
In Los Angeles, California, and we welcome you on a 68-degree, beautiful day for football. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert with Bob Greasy, and we're getting set for the Los Angeles Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals come in at 5-5 in a tie for first with Pittsburgh in the AFC Central going in, but Pittsburgh on its way to a victory over Houston. Last Sunday, Cincinnati knocking off Cleveland 27-10 at Riverfront in Cincinnati. And we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Buffalo-Cleveland game. 17-7. Sam White, the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, who've won 3 in a row, victories over Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Cleveland, so they've come back from a 2-5 start. And the Raiders at 6-4 going in tied with Seattle behind Denver. Raiders on the return. This is Holton Walker. So the Raiders getting right to it. They won the flip. And Fulton Walker with a 57-yard kickoff return run out by linebacker Carl Sander.
Not the way you want to start the game if you're a Sam White Cincinnati Bengal. The Bengals 22nd out of 28 teams in covering the punt. Fulton Walker does a good job on the opening kickoff.
And it puts the Raiders with a 1st and 10 at the Cincinnati 38-yard line. Last week of that wild, explosive game, Raiders lost to San Diego in overtime, 40-34. They've lost 2 in a row, given up a lot of points the last 2 games. Wilson on a play action. And this is Marcus Allen. Run out by Reggie Wilson. Now look at the Raider offense up front. Davis and Lawrence at the tackles, Hanna and Marvin at the guards, Don Mosbar. Starting at center, Jesse Hester, the burner rookie out of Florida State. Todd Christensen leading the AFC in receptions coming into today's action. And Mark Wilson making his 8th start of the year. And had his most impressive stats last week against San Diego. 2nd down and 6 from the 34. And again, it's Allen. Short of the 1st down, he's some 2 yards away. Ross Browner, the defensive end, on the stop as we check out the Bengals defensively. Edwards and Browner leading in sacks with 6.5 apiece. The linebackers, Shue, Xander, Cameron, and Reggie Williams, an exciting player. And in the secondary, Breeden and Horton at the corners. Kemp and Griffin are the deep men. We'll see much of Robert Jackson, though, number 37, who has 6 interceptions to lead the Bengals. 3rd down and 3 at the Cincinnati 31. Just the start of things at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And a 1st down picked up by the Raiders. Again, it is Allen, Glenn Cameron, the inside linebacker, on the stop.
Marv, one of the problems all year for the Bengals has been their defense, ranked 25th overall in the National Football League. They have not been able to stop the other team when they get on a roll, and the Raiders are obviously on a roll following that good kickoff return by Fulton Walker.
San Diego in front of Denver going in. Denver at 7-3. Chargers trying to get back into it. Record of 5-5. They go double tight end to the Raiders. Trey Junkin has come on, joining Todd Christensen and Marcus Allen. With a short advance, Ray Horton, the right corner, coming up to make the stop. Marcus Allen going into today's action, 2nd leading rusher in the AFC behind Freeman McNeil. Pittsburgh beating Houston convincingly. So the Steelers now 6-5, and Houston drops to 4-7. The score we mentioned earlier, Cleveland over Buffalo. The Browns coming from behind in the 2nd half to win it. 2nd and 9 at the Cincinnati 23. tries the left side. Marcus Allen closing in on the 1,000-yard mark. He's also caught 41 passes.
Marv, coming into the ball game, the Cincinnati Bengals wanted to stop this man right here, Marcus Allen. They have used a different style of defense. The media has called it the bear defense. The Dick LeBeau, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, calls it his 29 defense. What it is actually is a gap 8 defense to stop the run. But when you do that, your corners are very vulnerable to the pass.
I take it named after the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears are the first ones that employed it, and they do a lot of things with it, a little bit different than the Bengals, but the Bengals have been successful at it most of the year.
So the timeout called by Mark Wilson with only 6 seconds remaining on the 30-second clock, and he's over at the sideline to chat with Tom Flores. What has been the problem with the Raiders the last couple of weeks? They lose to Seattle convincingly, and of course involved in a shootout with Dan Fouts in San Diego last week.
Well, I think the superstition probably got him in Seattle. I don't think they play very well in Seattle. In fact,
superstition?
Yeah, the superstition.
Oh, my.
And then down in San Diego last week, Fouts was just very hot. Talking with some of the Raiders, they said they've never seen him play as well. But I think today what the Raiders need to do is get Marcus Allen untracked to take some pressure off of Mark Wilson. And for the Cincinnati Bengals, what they need to do is take pressure off of their young quarterback, Boomer Esiason. And offensively, they need to play very well in the offensive line.
And we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Oilers. Pittsburgh knocking off Houston by the score of 30-7. So that is 3 straight wins now for Chuck Noll in Pittsburgh. We saw them last week, and they had no problem at all taking care of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, Chuck Noll told his troops that it's a 7-game season a couple of weeks ago, and they're playing like the playoffs are up for grabs. The same thing has to be true for the Bengals. They've won 3 in a row. They've come from a 2-5 start to 5-5, and they have to feel like they've got a great lease on challenging for the top spot in the Central Division.
Milky Williams to the right, Hester at the near side to the left as we pick it up 3rd down and 7 at the Cincinnati 21. Wilson with time. The intended receiver, Doki Williams. Lewis Breeden, the left corner, on the coverage.
And Wilson threw that ball the only place he could. There was good coverage on the play. Rather than take an interception, he threw it out of bounds.
And so the field goal unit has come on. And Chris Barr, who has had a poor season, only 9 for 17 this year, will attempt from 39 yards out. Chris Barr, in his 10th year out of Penn State, a one-time Cincinnati Bengal. So it is a 39-yard field goal for Barr, who last week against the Chargers missed from 38. And the Raiders, sparked by that excellent kickoff return by Fulton Walker, have to settle for the 3 and move in front of Cincinnati by the score of 3-0. Sam Weish and his Cincinnati Bengals, who got off to the bad start. It's become tradition in Cincinnati. The last 3 years, this club has started slowly and then come on late.
Take a look at the score, this update with Miami winning. You're very correct in that, Marv. The problem is they knew it coming in this year. They had lost the last 2 years. They'd come in and not done very well at the beginning of the season. He said, we got to come in shape. We want everybody with their mind on football, and still they got off to a very poor start, a 1-4 start. But they've got it back to 500 now, and the season is in front of them. If they can play from here and play better than any of the other AFC Central teams, they have a chance at winning the championship.
Bengals finished strong last year, winning 7 of the last 9 in their final 4. Offense coming alive late in the year. And this is Mike Martin on the return. Out to the 20. Mike Martin, 3-year man out of Illinois, among the leaders in the AFC in kickoff returns. James Davis on the stop, as Cincinnati goes to the offense for the first time with that huge offensive line.
Average 282 pounds, and they have to play well today for Cincinnati to have a chance to win.
Chris Collinsworth, who was blanked 2 weeks ago by Buffalo, bounced back with 8 receptions last week against Cleveland. And Boomer Esiason in his second year out of Maryland and having a terrific season. Ranked right behind Dan Fouts in the AFC. And he goes to the ground for the big guy, Larry Kinnebrew.
Come on, D!
Reggie McKenzie, the inside linebacker, on the stop. As you look at the Raider defensive unit, you know that there will be a situation substitution. So right here, we show you the 3-4. And in the secondary, Stacy Turan is filling in for the injured Mike Davis. Bengals going with the no huddle early in the game, which they have done from time to time this season, and trying to catch the Raiders. And penalty flag is down. That's not a bad idea against a club like the Raiders.
And in talking with Sam yesterday, let's get the call here.
False start, 77 offense, second down.
Mike Wilson, the right offensive tackle, as we look at the officials, Tom Dooley, the referee. But in talking with Sam White yesterday about, it's not a hurry-up offense, it's at the line. They just line up after a play, they roll back to the line of scrimmage. They're not rushing, but it puts pressure on the defense because the defense has to be ready as soon as the offense lines up. The offense can take his time, he can look around, he can talk to his receivers, talk to his running back. So it's more pressure on the defense than it is the offense.
Second down and 8 at the 22. Collinsworth in motion. Esiason looking that way and overthrows. Stacy Turan, the strong safety on the coverage. And Green Bay walloping New Orleans. You have to wonder about Bum Phillips. Get the idea he is orchestrating his departure.
I think Bum kind of set himself up, saying that if he didn't win 5 of his the last 6 ball games, that the owner should get a new coach. Now it looks like he's got to win the next 5 by his own admission.
On a 39-yard field goal by Chris Barr, Raiders in front of Cincinnati by the score of 3-0. We are early first quarter. Third down play. And Esiason goes sideline for Brooks and has a first down. James Brooks, who comes off an excellent all-around game, picks up 12 on the play. He did it as an all-purpose back last week against the Browns.
You see Brooks breaking to the outside. The 2 outside receivers broke to the inside. Now what that did was create a traffic problem for the man covering Brooks. He caught the ball, got his yardage upfield, and a big first down. The first down of the ball game is always a big one, especially for some young quarterback such as Esiason.
And a first down out at the 34. Boomer Esiason, a second-round draft pick last year. And once again, a flag is thrown. And here is Dooley with the call.
False start, 78 offense, first down.
That is Anthony Munoz, the left tackle. Well, the scores are flying right at us. And we're getting more finals from some of the early ball games. Miami over Indianapolis, 34-20. So the Dolphins now 7-4. The Jets were winning big over Tampa Bay. Jets go in at 7 up and 3 down. And as you see, a 1st and 15 for the Bengals. That is Kinnebrew. Had nowhere to go. Stacy Turan on the stop of 6'1". He says 270 pounds. Larry Kinnebrew. Another flag has been thrown.
I don't think Kinnebrew has been 270 pounds in about 5 or 6 years. He says he's 275 pounds, but that's probably on Thursday. Of course, they say they weigh him in every day, so who knows what he weighs on game day.
That's on Thursday? Is that his lighter day?
Most of the time, the teams will weigh in on Thursdays.
Offense, penalties decline, second down.
So a penalty-filled start here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Only 5 minutes gone by in this first quarter. Raiders with a 3-0 lead on Cincinnati. And the Bengals now will have a 2nd and 11 back at their 33-yard line.
Check 60! Check 60!
Esiason with the time, able to step up. And close to the marker, but looked to be short of the first down. Brooks with the leaping catch, but Mike Haynes was right there.
Marv, the Bengals do a lot of different things offensively to try and confuse you. A lot of times their backs will come out and line up here in the backfield, and then they'll scatter. And occasionally, Kennebrew and Brooks, their two running backs, will line up as wide receivers. That leaves their wide receivers inside here to get mismatches on the inside against some of their linebackers. They'll do a lot of the moving around. We've already seen the at-the-line offense, but the Bengals want mismatches. It'll be interesting to see how they achieve that today.
And Cincinnati 3rd and 1. They have their powerhouse backfield, Charles Alexander, now alongside Larry Kennebrew. And here's Kennebrew with the first down.
Not only is it a powerhouse backfield, but they also move their left guard Blados, who weighs 295 pounds, to end and bring in another big offensive lineman, Bruce Reimers, to right end. So they have a lot of weight on that offensive line.
Atlanta over the Rams in an upset. Atlanta all over the LA Rams right from the start of the first half. First down midfield. And James Brooks throwing a little shake and bake. For Brooks, that was a subtle move. Howie Long was right there, and look at that final score.
That is very, very surprising. You know, even with, and I'm not sure that McMahon didn't play, but
he did not.
And I hear that he didn't. It's very surprising that they would score that many points on a very aggressive style of defense. I would have thought that would have been a very low-scoring game. Shows you, I had half of it right.
Yeah, good, Bob. Danny White, incidentally, knocked out of that game in the second quarter because of a mild concussion. 2nd and 5, lead again. Chris Collinsworth with his first reception of the day. Millen and McKenzie combining on the stop.
Well, I think it's very important for a young quarterback such as Boomer to have a good drive on his first drive coming out of the blocks. He is doing that. We've had some penalties on this drive, but what he's doing is making first downs, and what that has a tendency to do is settle him down, especially coming out to the coast where the Bengals have never won, never beaten the Raiders out here on the coast, and especially against an intimidating Raider style of defense.
Boomer 4 for 5, 35 yards. Second back coming through as a penalty flag is down. Stanford Jennings on the carry, so Sam Weish is mixing it up. Stanford Jennings in his second year out of Furman, a third-round draft pick last season. But again, a marker is down, and this time against the Raiders. And the
Offsides, defense, first down.
Eagles knocking off the Cardinals 24-14. So Philadelphia now 6 and 5, and the Cardinal troubles continue. They now 4 up, 7 down. Raiders over the Bengals 3-0. Halfway through this first quarter, Marv Albert, Bob Greasy from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And again, the good protection. And again, it is Collinsworth. A bullet thrown by Asias and McElroy on the stop. A 21-yard pass reception.
And what they did this time is we look at an injured Raider on the field. Can't tell, is that McElroy, Van McElroy? McElroy was out last week with an injury. And with Mike Davis already out of the ball game, that'd be 2 safeties that are down.
And we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching Miami and Indianapolis. The Dolphins, as we mentioned, knocking off the Colts 34-20. McElroy sat out the San Diego game last week because of a hamstring injury, and shake it up right here off this pass to Chris Collinsworth.
See Asias with good protection. Collinsworth takes it in. Eddie Brown was lined up in the backfield that time and came out of the backfield. And it's an interesting thing right here, Marvin. We get a shot of the Bengals sideline. The entire offense is off to the side talking with Sam White. That's the entire offense. Their offense has gone over there. Sam says he does this sometimes because the defense doesn't know who you're going to substitute.
All right, a break of the action. We'll be back here in Los Angeles in a moment. A hamstring injury. Sat it out last week against the Chargers. Same reason. He departs.
And all All-Pro performer last year. It's a tough break for Tom Flores. Mike Davis already out. 3 of the 4 defensive backs in the secondary were in the Pro Bowl last year. Now he's had some injuries.
So James Davis replacing Van McElroy. 11th play of this impressive-looking drive coming up now for Cincinnati.
And the Bengals come right from the sideline to the line of scrimmage.
Intended for Stanford Jennings, covered by Stacy Turan. We're set. Thank you, Ahmad. And right here, Raiders leading the Bengals by the score of 3-0. 6:23 left in the first quarter. Collinsworth now splitting to the left side. And Rodney Holman comes out to the right. Here's Esiason getting the time. Incomplete. Intended for Collinsworth. And again, a flag down. Mike Haynes on the coverage. It's against Cincinnati. The holding penalty indicated by Tom Dooley. Freaking lineup by Sam Weish as the Bengals come out of the huddle. He goes the full house.
77 offense, second down.
That's the right tackle, Mike Wilson again. That's the second time he's been penalized this first quarter. But Bobby has Eddie Brown, the wide receiver, in the backfield and then peeling off.
Very similar to last. Let's take a look at this again. Here is the lineup right here. 3 backs in the backfield, and then Eddie Brown right here will go in motion out of the backfield. This is very similar to what San Diego did to the Raiders last week and had a lot of success.
2nd and 20, back at the 24. And here is Kennebrew, and he is stopped. Very short pickup by Larry Kennebrew. And, you know, going into today, you had to wonder whether the Bengals would be able to hold on to the football the way they did against lesser clubs last couple of weeks. They had 40 minutes possession time against Cleveland, 40 minutes 2 weeks ago against Buffalo, allowing the opposition about 20 minutes of possession, but they're doing it here in the first quarter to the Raiders.
They're doing exactly what they want to do, and that is keep their weak defense off the football field. We've already said they're 25th in the National Football League, albeit they're playing much better the last few weeks. But I think it's because they're not on the field as much.
And as you see, 3rd down and 17 from the 21. Raiders leading Cincinnati 3-0, 5.5 left, first quarter. And Esiason going for Collinsworth, but off the mark. Mike Haynes on the coverage.
Just good tight man-to-man. Here's Collinsworth right here, and Haynes is covering. He's just going to go down and break to the outside. All the others right here are man-to-man coverage, tight coverage, and good pressure on the quarterback. Breaks to the outside. The ball is a little bit high, and Collinsworth has said that when Boomer is off, he's usually off a little bit high.
And here is Jim Breach, a one-time Los Angeles Raider, attempting a 39-yard field goal. He's 15 for 19 on the season. A high snap. Kreider able to put it down, and the line drive is through. So we're tied at 3. We'll be back after this message. Former Bengal, now Raider Chris Barr. Former Raider, now Bengal Jim Breach, who just hit from 39 yards away to tie it at 3. This after a 13-play drive by Cincinnati. So we're even at 3. Walker and Seal are back. And here's Fulton Walker, reeled off a 57-yard return just moments ago. This time they're able to cut him off across the 25. An 18-yard return, and Steve Kreider in on the tackle. Well, the Raiders have a big one next week against the Denver Broncos, and they're talking the possibility of in the area of 80 to 90,000. Capacity here is 92. They are well short today, and a very subdued crowd here in this first quarter.
Nothing that a couple of wins couldn't do to get some people back in the stadium. And Tom Flores saying yesterday, as you see there, we have Denver twice, Seattle here, so we control our own destiny.
Well, a tough stadium to fill. 92,000 is capacity. Marcus Allen.
As you see Sam White talking to his offensive line.
Second down and 8 yards to go. Ball count on the 28-yard line.
Back is going outside. Where you start getting the middle is wide open, yeah. The special open 28 Mike is going to be good, and 29 Mike also going to be good.
Talking the plays with the offensive line that are going to be good.
2nd and 8 for Mark Wilson. Intended for the tight end, Todd Christensen. Check of the scoreboard. The Jets, led by Ken O'Brien, who's thrown at least 5, leading Tampa Bay. And the Jets fear Tampa Bay. They played well the last couple of weeks.
They certainly have. Their defense has let them down.
San Diego and Denver tied. New England and Seattle, no score, second quarter. Kansas City and San Francisco at 3-3 in the first. And Detroit over Minnesota in the first quarter. 3rd down and 8 from the 28. Raiders and Bengals tied at 3. Late first quarter. And Wilson put down. The blitzing Bobby Kemp. We're set for... And back here at the Coliseum, Ray Guy getting set to punt for the first time. Mike Martin is back deep. There he is, back at the Cincinnati 30-yard line. Here's the return by Martin. Excellent coverage by the Raiders. A 50-yard punt and a 1-yard return. Trey Junkin was right on the scene. Remember, it was week number 16, the final week of last season. Of course, the Cincinnati Bengals, remember, the AFC Central title and a playoff berth up for grabs. If the Steelers had won, they would take the title, but if they lost, the Bengals would be in. Well, the Steelers played one of their best games of the year. Donnie Shell here capping it off with a second interception, and the Steelers beat the Raiders 13-7. And the Bengals felt that cost them $10,000 a man not getting into the playoffs, as you saw Kinnebrew stop by Van Pelt. So Sam Weish, the Cincinnati head coach, refers to this as the $10,000 game. The Bengals getting a chance to pay back the Raiders for, as he said, knocking them out of the playoffs.
I think that's all just tongue-in-cheek. I think he realizes that they played 16 games and they had an opportunity to do something about their own.
Word on Brad Van Pelt, who was down a moment ago, jammed his neck on the sideline, should be able to return. 2nd and 9 from the 29. We're tied at 3. 3:19 left. First quarter from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Flag thrown. Esiason. Oh, nearly a beautiful catch by Eddie Brown, although he would have been out of bounds. Eddie Brown, the rookie from Miami, covered by Lester Hayes. And a holding call against Cincinnati.
Eddie Brown complaining that Hayes had a hold of his face mask. Interesting, during the commercial, Marv, the entire Cincinnati offense went off the field to talk to Sam Weish. And what some of the Raiders did, as you see right here,
74 offense, 3rd down.
Hayes, 37, and 53 Martin went over to listen. Well, that just took some of the Cincinnati offense further on into the bench, and some of the other players stood between them. And I guess the Raiders thinking that if you're going to go over there and talk, you're still on the field, we're going to go over there and listen.
Bengals hit with their 4th penalty. They've been penalized for 30 yards. Raiders assessed only 1. 2nd and 18. And Esiason is hauled down inside the 5. First sack of the day by the Raiders.
The thing that the Raiders like to do defensively is pressure the quarterback with their defensive ends from the right side of your screen. Right there, Wilson locking on number 93, Townsend. Pressure defense. They like to pressure the passer and tight coverage in the secondary.
Greg Townsend with his 6th sack of the season. There he is, out of Texas Christian, a 4th-round draft pick back in 1983, a loss of 16. And it's 3rd and 33. Back at the 4. Niacin going the middle and completes to Mike Martin. 18-yard pickup, but the punting unit will come on. Sam Seal on the tackle of Mike Martin. And here is Pat McAnally. Holt Walker drops back to his 35. Pat McAnally, the combination syndicated columnist, songwriter, and punter. Hey, he had a regional hit in the Ohio area, not exactly Billboard with a bullet. Or the Red Bullet.
Sure, Pat, appreciate you mentioning that.
Trying to help his other careers. And Walker backpedals. Walker going outside at the 40. And nearly got away. Leo Parker, backup linebacker on the stop. Another good return, a 52-yard punt. And Walker goes 18 on the return. A swing around the scoreboard. The Bears able to clinch the division. Record of now 11-0. Miami beats Indianapolis 34-20. And the Jets 62. Tampa Bay 28. Pittsburgh 30. Houston 7. Houston's 7th loss. Philadelphia over St. Louis 24-14. Falcons upset the LA Rams. Cleveland beats Buffalo. Cleveland now 5-6, and Green Bay over New Orleans. First down from the 44-yard line. Minute and a half left in this first quarter. We're tied at 3. And Wilson goes the middle. He has Jesse Hester. And Hester has the first down. Tom Dinkle on the stop.
Bengals mixing up their 3-4 defense and their Bear 29 defense. The Raiders throwing on first down. Just a little underneath route or a crossing route by Hester. Tries to use his speed and get upfield, and he does very well, picking up a first down.
Hester caught 2 touchdown passes against the Chargers last week. First round draft pick of the Raiders out of Florida State. First down at the Cincinnati 46.
94-0.
Christensen with a spectacular catch.
I would say he didn't catch it.
Looked like he had a little stickum, and he thought he had it, but they say no.
Now watch Christensen. The Bengals jump into their Bear defense, and that makes a linebacker, Barker, 53, looks like he's holding on to him a little bit, cover the tight end. Now that's something, if the Bengals are going to play this style of defense, and it's tough to run against this defense to see if he catches the football. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It looks like he probably did not catch it. But the thing the Raiders will try and do then is throw to their tight end, because then you'll have a linebacker covering the tight end.
It's called making maximum use of every part of your body.
Knees, elbows, hands, whatever.
2nd and 10. And now Wilson goes deep. Breeden on the coverage of Williams. Set for another update. Let's get back. Nothing against Ahmad or Bob Costas, who I presume is resting. But I was kind of hoping what with the live studio audience, perhaps we'd have some cameo appearances on updates. If
a fan that had the NBC Peacock shirt on.
Looking awfully suspicious. It's a 3rd down and 10 from the 46. And Wilson again goes long, and a flag thrown. The intended receiver was Christensen. Ray Horton, the right corner, on the coverage.
Todd Christensen feeling as though he was interfered with. Then man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and you're going to get tighter coverage on man, and a lot of times the interference will come on man coverage, not normally on a zone coverage.
And as you can see, Sam Weish does not appreciate
illegal contact, 37 defense, first down.
And it's Robert Jackson, the extra defensive back, called on the penalty, and the Bengals getting killed here in the penalty department.
It's interesting, too, that Jackson leads the team in tackles and interceptions and is not even a starter.
And the first down for the Raiders from the 41. Back to the ground, Marcus Allen with a short pickup. Eddie Edwards on the tackle.
Look at the Raiders scouting report. What they like to do offensively is get the ball deep to their wide receivers, either one of them. They want both of them to be deep threat. That stretches the defense. And then for their conservative rest of their game, they want to get the ball to 32 Allen or 46 Christensen in a possession type of situation. But what they look for is the big play, and then they come back to Christensen and Allen.
That's the end of the first quarter here at the Coliseum. Cincinnati Bengals, Los Angeles Raiders tied at... What are your feelings about that Cincinnati defensive unit?
Well, they're playing very well today, Marv. Ever since they changed over to that gap defense or the bear defense, 29 defense, whatever you want to call it, they've been playing very well. They're trying to stop Marcus Allen. They're doing a good job the first quarter, and I think the fact that the Bengals offense is staying on the field so much is helping the defense.
2nd and 8 from the 39 as we get underway in this second quarter. And again, Wilson with the time goes up top for Allen. Marcus Allen, the intended receiver, inside the 5.
They had the exact coverage. They were going the bear defense when they were blitzing on it. Man-to-man coverage in the secondary. Marcus Allen, who catches a lot of balls against Washington. The ball is slightly overthrown, but that is an opportunity for a big play that slips by the Raiders.
Sam Washington picked up a couple of weeks ago, one-time starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
First half stats, not as much time of possession for the Bengals as we thought going in, but they certainly had one long drive.
And that resulted in the field goal. Wilson is 3 for 8, 22 yards to this point. And he pegs short, and it is picked off. Intended for Christensen, and it's Jimmy Turner on the interception. Mark Wilson makes the tackle. A 41-yard return by the 3-year man from UCLA. So a pleasant homecoming for Jimmy Turner.
Not so pleasant for Mark Wilson as the boos start coming out. He's going to throw to his right. It's a little down and out, and you see the ball is right on target, but Wilson did not see Turner coming back to the inside. As you take another look at it right here, Christensen fighting his way off the line of scrimmage. Now, he doesn't see the man to the outside. That's a zone coverage. Turner is playing his zone, got his jam, and moved back to the inside. That is a very difficult thing for a quarterback to see because you're looking at the receiver and the man covering him and not the man sliding in from the outside.
So Esiason and the Bengals now have a first down at the Raider 27-yard line. And it's Kennebrew with a short pickup. I'd have to say next to the refrigerator, Larry Kennebrew, the largest running back in the National Football League?
Exactly, and sometimes they'll have him out as a wide receiver when they try to scatter these their players around, but Kennebrew is a lot quicker and a lot faster than Pete Johnson. A lot of people like to think that Bengal uniform, a big fullback, he's another Pete Johnson, but he's quicker and a little faster.
Picked up 2, 2nd and 8. At the 25, we're just underway, second quarter, tied at 3. And again, it is Kennebrew. He's to the 20. It'll set up a 3rd down and 3. San Diego now moving in front of Denver in the second quarter, 14-7. New England leads Seattle 7-3. Pressure on the Patriots with the Jets winning big. San Francisco over Kansas City.
3rd and 3.
And Detroit leading Minnesota now 17-0 in the second. And our situation, field goals by Jim Breach and Chris Barr. So we're tied at 3. That's Brown in motion, and again to the ground for Kennebrew. And he's held short of the first down.
275 pounds, jumping over one of the blockers. Let's go down into the pits and look at 75, Howie Long. Brian Blados, number 74, gets a good shove on him, and when you're 295 pounds, as Blados is, when you shove, normally something's going to happen, and a hole was cleared. Howie Long not pushed to the ground that many times.
And let's see, that is Lyle Alzado who is shaken up. We'll be back after 3C from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Lyle Alzado shaken up, and heads to the sideline. A 38-yard field goal being attempted here by Jim Breach, who earlier hit from 39. And this one is no good. So Jim Breach not able to hit. We remain tied at 3. Season, as you saw, that his first miss from less than 50 yards. So the score remains tied at 3. 2.5 gone by, second quarter. Frank Hawkins, Marcus Allen are the running backs as the Raiders go back to the offense. Allen with some nice moves. And Allen has the first down and some more. Run out by defensive back James Griffin. 14-yard run by Allen.
Just straight blocking up front. As you see Allen just picking his hole, going over the left side. The Raiders over the years like to run left. Allen making a bingo miss and picks up some good yardage, but Marcus Allen made the big play in avoiding the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Marcus had 119 yards last week against the Chargers, going over 100 for the 5th time the last 6 games. It has been all Marcus Allen offensively for the Raiders. And Allen, the ball carrier again. Little Train is exciting, as the Raiders discovered last week.
The Chargers are on a roll back in the thick of the race. You've got the top 3 teams, and you throw in San Diego. That's going to be a real fight.
2nd and 9 from the 35. And Wilson throwing to his right. He has Allen to the 45. And he stutter-stepped his way for the first down against the left corner, Lewis Breeden, an 11-yard advance.
Marcus Allen almost more valuable coming out of the backfield as a receiver. You see him on the right side of your screen, number 32 lined up. He's caught 41 passes coming into the ball game. As you look at the protection up front, good protection, just a little out. Now Allen in open field makes one man miss and then gets some extra yardage.
About from time to time, Marcus has complained that he had not seen the ball frequently enough. We have not heard that complaint this year. That has not been the case. And here he is again.
They like to do
short pickup.
Excuse me, Marv, is hand him the ball and then obviously throw him the football if it's in a situation where he can help. And then Christensen is the other man. They have not gone to their wide receivers that much today.
McElroy, who pulled a hamstring in the first quarter, he sent out last week against San Diego with that same left hamstring pull, is back to the sideline. No word on whether he will return. Raiders have been hit hard physically here in this first half. Now they go double tight end for the 2nd and 8. And it's Allen on a delay to midfield. Bobby Kemp, strong safety. And they call the enforcer a hard tackler, stacking up Allen. Alzado, we're told, suffered a calf muscle bruise, and it is uncertain as to whether he will return.
That's a tough break for Tom Flores. 4 defensive starters now. Van Pelt, Alzado, Mike Davis on the injured reserve list before the ball game, and McElroy all out of the lineup.
5 minutes in. Second quarter, tied at 3. A 3rd and 6 from the 50. And the quick pop. And the first down is picked up. John Simmons on the stop. Frank Hawkins would not go down.
3 or 4 Bengals try to get him down, and Marvin comes in to push the other way. You see Wilson looks to his left the entire time. That's either means it's going to be a quick pass to Hawkins, which it is, or he's in trouble, because anytime you look where you're throwing, of course, the defensive men are going to go that way too, but that football does attract a bunch of players.
And a first down for the Raiders at the Cincinnati 40-yard line. Now Kenny King in the backfield. This is King. King has been used sparingly. That is only his 11th carry this season. The linebackers, Jeff Shue, Carl Zander combining on the stop. Detroit doing it to Minnesota, 24-0 now in the second quarter. King picking up the yardage, setting up a 2nd and 4. He wins 6 on the play. Now Hester is out to the left. Williams to the right. And Wilson throwing to the right. Overthrows Dokie Williams. Lewis Breeden on the coverage.
This is the defense where we're talking about a little bit earlier, Marv, where they're in the gap 8 to stop the run, and it puts pressure on the outside, and Breeden and Dokie Williams, this time Breeden wins the match. As we look inside, Christensen on a linebacker, spins away, is wide open. I was wide open. I was wide open. Throw me the football. That's the type. If you were a quarterback and had 2 footballs, it'd be great because you'd throw one way downfield and everybody would leave you, and then you'd throw to everybody else. They'd be open.
Oh, that sounds like a bitter answer from a one-time quarterback.
Sounds like a quarterback talking,
yes.
doesn't it?
Guys complaining back in the huddle, and Greasy had that answer. All right, here's Wilson throwing short, and may have picked up the first down with Kenny King. Let's see if he was pushed back. Robert Jackson on the stop. Yes, it is a first down. Right here, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Sports, Cincinnati style. WLWT Channel 5.
With a bitter and cynical Bob Greasy. This is Marv Albert from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. 8 minutes remaining. First half tied at 3. 10th play of this drive for the Raiders. First down at the Cincinnati 29. And here's Allen finding a hole. And then tripped up at the 25 by the quarterback, Ray Horton.
The 25.
Raiders are not a big trapping team, Marv, and occasionally they'll pull. Watch Lawrence right here. He's going to come and try and trap Browner to this side. Now watch what big number 70 in the black. Now watch Browner, 79, sees it coming, just throws him aside, but doesn't make the tackle. Marcus slips through the inside for a little bit of a gain.
2nd and 7. Hester left, Williams right, short setup. Tight end Christensen on the reception has the first down, but a penalty marker is thrown. James Griffin stopping Todd Christensen. It's against the Raiders.
The Bengals were blitzing on the situation, and Wilson, seeing it, knew he didn't have time to block it all, got rid of the ball very quickly, but it's going to come back.
Holding. 72 on offense. 2nd down.
That is the center, Don Mosbar. There he is in his 3rd season out of University of Southern California.
To the left of your screen, right there. He's blocking on Crumry, got his arm around him, and takes him down. Crumry, a very underrated nose tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals.
2nd and long. And Wilson to complete for another Raider first down and a flag. Dokie Williams stopped by the combination of Horton and Jackson. 18-yard pass play. Ray Horton, a target early last season, then came on and finished strong as the Bengals came on late against Cincinnati. And here's the call by the referee.
Foul, face mask, 54 defense, first down.
All right, Tom Dooley calling the face mask.
Just a little down and out. Hester, the rookie from Florida State, makes a good move back to the inside. And right there, number 20, Horton grabs a hold of the face mask. It's Dokie Williams, excuse me, but you can see the face mask on Ray Horton.
1st and goal from the 8. And again, it's Marcus Allen inside the 5. Allen has that beautiful delay move as he hits the line.
He has good vision, Marv, and good feet to go with it. All good running backs have the vision because sometimes, most of the time, the hole is not where it is in practice, and you have to be able to adjust. You have to see it first and then be able to slide to the right or the left, whichever way the hole is.
And a 2nd and goal from the 4. Raiders have Hawkins lined up in front of Allen. And here's Allen Well, the leaping move by Marcus stopped by the left defensive end, Eddie Edwards.
Little wrestling and fighting for the ball going on there late, but the Raiders always have been an intimidating team coming in. The Bengals said they didn't want to get into any fights or scuffles or what have you, but Sam White's always aware of what's going on. Take a look at the surge of the offensive and defensive line, and then Marcus over the top. Not always the best thing to do because you were sitting duck. That time took a tough shot from one of the defensive backs.
And it's a 3rd and goal from the 1. Again, Hawkins in front of Allen. And here's Allen. And the Bengals feel they have stopped him. Ron Simpkins got in the way.
Reggie Williams got in the way also. He went over the top. Take another look. Williams is going over the top the same time Allen is going over, and this is dangerous because when you're up there, you don't have any chance to move. Oh, right there. Here's Williams right here. He's going to be lined up deep. He's going to come all the way over the top. He's getting deep now. He comes straight over, flying over. His linebackers, they know what's going to come. So they get a deep and a running start also.
Picked up a half yard. Raiders go for it on 4th down. And let's see now as Allen try to hurdle.
He didn't make it.
And the Bengal defensive unit stopping the Raiders on the goal line stand. 15-play drive comes up short. Goal line stand by the Bengals.
This is the 3rd play in a row. Watch as Marcus turns his back. Kemp, 26, had a little bit of shot at his legs. Now, watch the reaction of the Bengals sideline, and this play is over with. At the top of your screen, they know they stopped him, and the offense is coming on the field. Big play for the Cincinnati Bengals.
So the Bengals and Raiders tied at 3, 5:10 remaining in this first half from the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And Boomer Esiason and Cincinnati starting out from the half-yard line. Off the play action, Esiason looking to get it out there, and Kennebrew not able to hold on.
This is not the place, Marv, you want to start a drive from, but you'll take it if your defense stops them, just like the Bengals did. You're going to pass from your end zone, not a bad down to do it on. 1st down, ball's a little bit high, and Kennebrew says, I don't want my arms up there. Man, they get into my wrist a little bit.
Well, the Bengals have to be wary of the safety possibility. Well, he needs a quick pop by Kennebrew to pick up some yardage.
Very tough to make a running 1st down when you're on the half-yard line.
2nd down for Esiason. See, James Brooks caught it after 3.
It bounced short off the right.
Incomplete.
Tells you the confidence that Sam White has in his young quarterback to throw twice from his own end zone.
49ers doing it to Kansas City, 17-3. Detroit extends the lead to Minnesota. 31-0 now in the 2nd.
There's Ken Anderson on the left there, number 14 with the cap on, giving the signals into the end zone to Boomer Esiason. Sam White calls him. Ken Anderson sends him in.
And the 3rd down play, well, they went for the quick opener. And Kennebrew does run it out.
It'll be close. Depends on where they spot it as to whether or not they're going to make a 1st down.
Bill Pickell and Rod Martin combining on Larry Kennebrew. And here come the yardsticks.
It'll be short. You don't take any chances in this area of the field. You got to punt it away. But Sam White has done a great job with his size in the done a great job with young people, young talent. Sam himself, the youngest head coach in the National Football League, was with Joe Montana and Dwight Clark at San Francisco and brought them along, and now he's doing the same thing with the size of an Eddie Brown, the wide receiver here at the Bengals. He's done a great job.
Dwight's 40 years old, was a walk-on quarterback at Furman. Played a bit in the Continental Football League and with the Bengals' first-year expansion team in the AFL back in 68 and hung on as a backup quarterback for a number of teams around the NFL. Here's McAnally and Fulton Walker drifting back. Good punt by McAnally. Well, Walker broke a tackle, and on the return he went 11 off the 53-yard punt by Pat McAnally. Leo Barker on the tackle of Walker. All the scores and highlights on a busy day around the NFL coming up at halftime. Did the live studio audience hang around?
I don't know. I agree. I kind of missed Ahmad and Axe there.
Yeah. What a cheap shot to get those guys off the show. Go for the live. Go for the media attention, and here's Axton Ahmad
taking up all the time.
I wonder if they stayed and watched the show. All right, first down from the 47. And Wilson swings it. There's Hawkins. Emmanuel King able to push him out of bounds. Watch the Raiders provide the signals to the quarterback from the sideline. You'll see Rusty Hilger, the backup quarterback, screening so the Cincinnati Bengals don't pick off the signal.
Larry Kinnan to the left of Tom Flores there in the gray sweater was signaling in to Mark Wilson. He can either signal a play or a number. He has a wristband on his side of his arm, and he can either signal the number, and he just looks down there, the corresponding number in the play.
Second down and 3 as Marcus Allen picks up the first down. Ray Horton on the stop. Just under 4 remaining in this first half. What is that? Our producer David Neal pointing out that Axe and Ahmad were celebrity ushers for the live studio audience.
As you see Mark Wilson looking at his wristband there, and there is the wristband. Now he's looking at the corresponding play. Sometimes there's just numbers there. They say number 17 or 18. He looks down there and he runs that particular play.
Raiders first down at the Cincinnati 36. Marcus Allen, 14 carries, 50 yards in this first half. And this is Hawkins. Tripped up. Reggie Williams, the outside linebacker in his 10th season out of Dartmouth. On the stop.
Raiders were one of 2 teams in the National Football League still calling the plays offensively, the other being Pittsburgh. But since the injury to Mark Wilson earlier in the year, and Hilger went in and played, Rusty Hilger, they called the plays for him, and when Wilson came back, they continued this, and Wilson likes it better, and so do the coaching staff.
It's a 2nd and 6 at the Cincinnati 32. And Allen is stopped again, just a short pickup. Jim Plunkett, of course, out with that dislocated left shoulder. Injury suffered some 6 weeks back, and they are now talking about the fact that Jim will begin his workouts shortly.
There's a shot of Jim, the back of him, and his left shoulder was not operated on, and the doctor was saying yesterday that yes, he's giving him the okay to start throwing again next week. So I think it's probably just a matter of time before we see Jim back in uniform.
3rd down and 5. We're approaching 2 minutes left in this first half. We're tied at 3. Nice catch. Tim Moffitt, the rookie from Mississippi, on the first down reception, picked up 11. Bobby Kemp, Robert Jackson combined on the stop. And now there's the 2-minute warning, so a timeout here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. We'll be back in a moment. Back back at the Coliseum. Beautiful day here in Southern California. Temperature at 71 degrees. Raiders and Bengals in a low-key affair here in the first half, tied at 3. And Marcus Allen finding a hole with a good second effort. James Griffin on the stop. That's time running down. Time left in this first half.
Take a look at the blocking up front as Allen cutting back and running right into the linebacker. Good play.
Second down, 3 yards to go. Ball started on the 13.
And now the Raiders have taken over control after the early domination by the Bengals. Allen picked up 7, second and 3 from the 13. That is Allen peeling to the left. Wilson going the other way, a flag thrown. Noki Williams, the intended receiver, covered by Lewis Breeden, but a penalty marker is down. It is against Cincinnati once again. So that will be a Raider first down. That'll be a first and goal for Los Angeles.
Hands, 58, defense, first down.
Todd Christensen releasing to the inside or trying. Xander, 91, getting a jam on him. He's saying, wait, stay with me a little bit longer, Mark. I am open. And Mark's saying, I don't have that much time. I don't have much time.
Or as Bob put it before, I only have one football. Fine answer. Marcus Allen, clock running. We are down to 1 minute remaining in this first half. Robert Jackson on the stop. Raiders with 2 timeouts remaining. Bengals have 3 left.
Certainly didn't think coming in, Marv, that this was going to be a defensive struggle. What with the Bengals offense being the #1 scoring team in the National Football League and the Raiders having scored 34 points last week. But here we are, 3-3, going towards the end of the first half.
Second down and 7. And Wilson throwing for the end zone for Doki Williams. Broken up by Lewis Breeden, and the clock stopped with 26 seconds remaining in the half.
Man-to-man coverage in the secondary, and the reason, safety blitz right here. He's going to come straight up the middle, and all the receivers are going to have man-to-man coverage. You see him coming. Wilson sees it and knows he has to get rid of the football. Just one-on-one in the end zone. It was a good coverage by Lewis Breeden. Now, that's something Wilson knew that the Bengals like to use in that situation from this film study throughout the week.
So the third down play from just outside the 7. And Wilson able to complete. The clock is running. They'll spot it at about the 3. Doki Williams on the catch with 12 seconds remaining, and a timeout called by the Raiders. We'll be back in a moment.
Bird just pushed to the outside. He really wasn't expecting the ball. Williams, I don't think, was really expecting it. The tight end and the back on that side collided and just kind of fell down in a heap. Not the type of play that Tom Flores on third down would like to have when you're inside the 5-yard line, but things have not been going well today for either offense. The defense has been playing the best part of this ball game, but second half could be a different story.
And now Chris Barr, who hit earlier from 38, will attempt from 20 yards away. Mark Wilson will put it down, looking to give the Raiders a 3-point lead at the half. And he does. Chris Barr putting it through, and the Raiders now lead the Bengals by the score of 6-3 with 9 seconds left in this first half.
Sam trying to get his troops going. Like I said, he's really a player's coach, and you hear that a lot, but being young as he is, 40 years old, he's out there leading the Calisthenics. He is in the huddle. He's right in the middle of the huddle talking to his offense or to his defense, and he wants to get them going. He has turned this ball club around from a 2-5 start to where he's got them believing that they can actually win the division.
And Bob, you know, the second quarter, the Raiders have driven down to the Cincinnati 1 and the Cincinnati 2 and come up with only 3 points. And as you see, it's been Marcus Allen throughout. That only other running play, Kenny King went for 6-7 yards, and that was it.
Well, that's their offense. Their offense is Marcus Allen on a run and Marcus on the pass and Todd Christensen, and we've had some good shots of Christensen being a little bit frustrated today and not getting the ball to him. But then the other thing is the 2 wide receivers down the field for big plays, and they have not connected there either.
Kickoff by Barr sends the squib. And the return is out to the 48-yard line with 4 seconds remaining. Carl Sander, the linebacker, on the return.
Sander looked like he enjoyed running that football, like he knew what he was doing.
No problem.
And a timeout called by Cincinnati. Carl Sander, a second-round draft pick, a rookie from University of Tennessee. All right, Bob Costas, Ahmad Rashad, and Pete Axtell reunited.
The celebrity ushers. There you see the sideline. That's the Cincinnati offense. Again, off the field. This is really strange, Barb, to see this. Only 11 players, the 11 defensive players of the Raiders on the field, and the offense completely off. We had a good shot a little bit earlier of the Raiders walking to the sideline and listening in.
What do you think of this? What's your feeling about the Cincinnati maneuver?
What they're trying to do is get their entire offense off the field so the defense does not know who they're putting in the ball game. With all the situation substitution that is going on in the National Football League, if the Bengals put in 4 wide receivers, then perhaps the defense would put in 5 or 6 defensive backs. If you would go short yardage offense with 3 tight ends, they would substitute accordingly. This just keeps the defense guessing a little longer, and as you see, they come straight from the sideline and line up on the ball.
4 seconds left in the half. And here is Esiason. Couldn't find anyone. Was he past the line of scrimmage?
It was close. It was very close.
At any rate, time has run out in this first half. It was an interesting maneuver. That was not one of the trick plays of Sam Weish with Esiason moving past that line of scrimmage.
You ever see my slice?
The man's entire repertoire being put on display. All right, Boomer Esiason, 6 for 12. Cincinnati opening the game by controlling the ball, but the Raiders taking away the control of the second quarter. It was Barr with a 38-yard field goal, putting the Raiders up by the score of 3-0. Breach hit from 39, that tied it at 3. Barr from 20 with 9 seconds left in the first half, and that has been the story. Breach did miss from 38 early in the second quarter. Marcus Allen with 59 yards on the ground. There's Chris Barr, one-time Cincinnati Bengal, who has had a disappointing season. Last year, a remarkable 8 of 12 from beyond the 40-yard line. Last week, he missed that 38-yard field goal against the Chargers. Also had an extra point blocked last week. And the second half is underway. Mike Martin on the return. Mike Martin in his 3rd season out of Illinois. Stopped by James Davis. And so let's see what Cincinnati can do in their first offensive opportunity, starting out from the 17-yard line. Boomer Esiason, who had an up-and-down rookie season. He has blossomed in his second year. Much confidence, not afraid of making a mistake.
Well, that's the key thing, and he credits Sam White, saying he just has had the patience with me. He says if you throw an interception, it's all right.
And goes to Kennebrew to open up this second half. Kennebrew close to the first down marker. Rod Martin and Stacy Turan on the stop. Bengals with Anthony Munoz, Mike Wilson at the tackles, Brian Blados, Max Montoya at the guards, and Dave Remington is the center. It'll be a second down and 1. And now Bill Johnson in at running back along with Larry Kinnebrew. And Kinnebrew. Well, apparently that was a first down play. They did pick up the first down. So Kinnebrew stopped by Stacy Turan. And now it'll be a second and 5 coming up.
You know, Marvin, talking about his size, and the thing that Sam White says that is so impressive, that not only does he study the passing game, but he studies the running game. He'll go in and watch film with the offensive lineman, and Munoz says, I was shocked. I never had a quarterback come in and watch running films with me.
Kinnebrew on the carry. Reggie McKenzie making the stop.
Bengals offensive line in the center. Remington, number 52, 288 pounds, has a good angle on 53, Rod Martin, and gets him on the ground.
Now, eventually, you can look for Dave Remington to be an all-pro selection. The AFC, though, rich at the center position. You have Mike Webster in Pittsburgh, Dwight Stevenson with Miami, Joe Fields with the Jets. That's a tough position.
It's a very tough position. The Bengal offensive line, as we take a look at the measurement of first down, 3 number 1 draft choices from the center to the left tackle. As we take a look at the size of that line, 281 pounds, probably the biggest offensive line in the league, Mark.
I think sometimes, depending on the alignment, that Houston Oilers would be right there, but the Bengals would get the nod on the average weight. James Brooks not able to get going. Long and Van Pelt, who is back in action. You saw Brad Van Pelt go down in the first half, but Brad is back in there combining on the stop. A 2-yard advance, second and 8.
There's Van Pelt, and talking with the Raiders, one of the things they were concerned about was James Brooks, the shake and bake running back for the Bengals. They needed to stop him.
And Esiason puts it up and broke it up. Stacy Turan able to pat it down, intended for the tight end Rodney Holman.
Turan playing in place of Mike Davis at strong safety and doing a fine job, the second-year player out of Notre Dame.
Mike Davis undergoing knee surgery. He's out at least 4 weeks, so Turan at the strong safety position. Third down and 8 from the 40-yard line. 6-3, Raiders lead the Bengals. Brooks, Cincinnati, only 2 rushes today for 7 yards. That's been it. Nice catch for the first down and a penalty flag. Hollingsworth on the reception and a flag down. Cincinnati was hard hit by penalties in the first half.
Offensive holding, number 73. Interference, defense, penalties decline, or penalties offset is third down.
I don't see a 73. Let's take a look if we can pick it up.
See the offensive line. We'll see if we can see any holding in the offensive line. Munoz right there has his right arm outside the framework on Howie Long. That's probably what they called.
Well, unless they called on Eddie Edwards, who was on the sideline. He is 73, a defensive end. Third down and 8. Esiason just did get it away, and it was nearly picked off by Mike Haynes. Pass intended for Collinsworth.
Boomer Esiason, I don't think he's played against 2 finer cornerbacks in one defensive backfields in Mike Haynes and Lester Hayes. The aggressive bump and run style, 70 career interceptions between the two, and only 2 interceptions this year. Lester's had problems intercepting since they made him take all that stickum off of him 3 or 4 years ago.
All right, McAnally will punt for the 3rd time this afternoon. And there's Fulton Walker. Line drive, Walker from his 20. And took the immediate hit as he got up to the 27. A 40-yard punt, an 8-yard return. So good coverage by the Cincinnati Bengals. From Los Angeles, California, Marv Albert with Bob Greasy, along with his famed telestrator that can show arrows, it slices, it dices. The man does it all. 6-3 Raiders over Cincinnati, and the Raiders take over. Play action for Wilson. And with time, Doki Williams not able to hang on.
This is not Mark Wilson's fault. The play was well designed. It's a play action fake. Williams is open in the slot. You can't see it here. He throws it as well as he can. Doki just doesn't catch the football. He slowed up, fearing that the defensive back right there would come back and deliver a blow. But you got to go up and make those tough catches. Here's Christensen right here. He's just an outlet. He said, give me the ball, give me the ball. But I think as much as anything, he was just attracting the defensive man to cover it.
2nd and 10. And the completion for the first down. 13-yard advance. Doki Williams stopped by Lewis Breed. That's the 3rd catch of the day for Doki Williams in his 3rd season out of UCLA.
Originally, they had hoped that Doki Williams would be the man that replaced Cliff Branch, the speed burner, the man that could get deep and cause fear in the hearts of these defensive backs. He's been a little bit slow progressing into that role, but they still have hopes for him.
First down from the 40, and a change of direction by Marcus Allen. We have not seen Doki go deep that frequently, at least today.
He's just in his 3rd year, and they like speed on the outside. They don't ask their wide receivers to block. They don't ask them to run slants. The Raiders just run deep routes and a lot of things to the outside. You don't ever see many of the wide receivers of the Raiders crossing the field. They don't. That's not their style.
Now Williams to the right, Hester left. 2nd and 6 from the 44. Well, the only receiver in the area was Doki Williams. It appeared that Wilson was setting up a screen, but then he went deeper downfield.
But here you're going to see Doki Williams out here. He's going to go down and hook. Branch will hook too, and the ball is thrown to the outside. Now what he was looking at could have had an option to Doki Williams on the outside, and Doki thought he was going to run, should have ran inside, and Mark read something else. A lot of times the receiver will have an option to curl or to run it out.
3rd down, 6 from the 44. The blitz, and Mark Wilson is hauled down. Eddie Edwards on the sack.
Dick LeBeau, defensive coordinator for the Bengals, mixing his defenses up very well. Mark Wilson with a short drop, did not have time to even look around. Bengals defensively are playing a very smart game.
Eddie Edwards now 7.5 sacks on the season. So here is Ray Guy back at his 23, his 2nd punt of the day. And a beauty. Mike Martin lets it go. And it bounces out at the 13. A 49-yard punt, but does not allow a return. Timeout is called. We'll be right back. Being screened out right here by Charlie Hanna. There he is. There's Dave in his 14th year out of UCLA in his 200th straight game. That's the longest streak going in the National Football League. Meanwhile, Cincinnati first down from their 13-yard line. Collinsworth could not hang on. Otis McKinney on the coverage. And we have a little trivia tease question concerning Dave Dalby. Name the 2 players beside Dalby who have appeared in 200 consecutive games with the Raiders. Bob will, as he flips through the Raider guide.
Is there only 2? I thought there were more than 2.
Are you doubting our staff?
No, I would not doubt our staff. A crack staff it is.
Second and 10. And a nice catch this time by Collinsworth for the first down. Stacy Turan on the coverage. Picked up 13.
Collinsworth working against Lester Hayes. Starts to the outside. Bump and run continues on around him. Lester was thinking he was going to come back to the outside. It's very tough for a tall man such as Collinsworth to get away from a tight bump and run such as Lester Hayes.
Third catch for Collinsworth, who came down with 8 last week against Cleveland. Here's Kinnebrew. Out to the 30-yard line, met by Reggie McKenzie. And we're set for another update. Let's go to Ahmad. Thank you, Ahmad. Third quarter at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, 8.5 left. Raiders 6, Bengals 3, and Cincinnati with a 2nd and 5 from their 32. And they want to talk it over. So a timeout, and we'll be right back. At the Coliseum in Los Angeles, 2nd and 5 play. Cincinnati from their 32-yard line. And Esiason able to swing it to Brooks. And that's the first time the Bengals have been able to get Brooks into the open field, and he picked up 12, stopped by Jeff Barnes.
And Marv, they did it with a screen. The tight end will come down here. Both receivers and 2 guards or 2 linemen will come out here. And the pass will just be a little quick screen out here. And as you see, this is as good a way as any to get the ball to a quick back. He has to throw it around the defensive man. Broken field. The shake and bake J&B. Call him JB.
And his third catch of the day. That's a play that San Diego Chargers were able to use very effectively last week against the Raiders. Esiason lofting it for Brooks, incomplete. Well, we posed the question moments ago concerning Dave Dalby playing in his 200th straight game, longest streak going in the NFL, and we asked if you could name the 2 players aside from Dalby who have done it with the Raiders, and as I pointed out moments ago to you, Bob,
Jim Otto and Gene Upshaw, but I think there are a couple others myself.
Well, there are, but they did it with the Raiders plus other clubs. George Blanda,
Ted Hendricks,
Mad Stork
with other clubs, huh?
Here's Kinnebrew. Could not make the turn and hit for a loss.
Last week the Raiders played against Little Train. Would it be appropriate to say today they're playing against the Big Train? 28, Larry Kinnebrew.
Larry Kinnebrew, who is listed at 6'1", 277 pounds, 6th round draft pick back in 1983. And he has provided the Bengals with a rejuvenated running game.
Go get it, go get it.
Third down 10 from the 44.
Go get it.
Esiason gets it away to Collinsworth. A very impressive scramble by Boomer Esiason. Picked up 15 on the play.
Boomer showing why he is so tough. Buys time. There's no way. Here's Collinsworth right here. He's going to go down here and then come all the way back into the middle of the field. Comes back toward the quarterback. When he sees he's scrambling, Collinsworth is out of it right here. He's covered. Now he sees the middle of the field open and he comes back to his quarterback. You can't teach that. Takes a tough blow at the end.
Earlier this season, Esiason would get in the habit of looking only for this man, Chris Collinsworth. This changed as the season developed. Now Esiason has a first down at the Raider 41. And he threw it away. Brooks being covered closely by Turan. Was that lack of confidence on the part of Esiason in the direction of other receivers and that he was only looking for Collinsworth early?
I think it's not a lack of confidence, but a mark of immaturity. Because when he got in, he says, here's Chris Collinsworth. He's been an all-pro. I got to throw him the football. I got to throw it to him. He threw it to him 10 times the first game when he started. Sam White came to him and says, hey, listen, throw it to everybody. 2 games ago, Collinsworth didn't catch a pass. The evolution was complete. He's spreading the football around.
2nd and 10 from the Raider 41. Raiders lead it 6-3, and it's Kennebrew trying to pull his way. Picked up a yard. Check of the scoreboard. San Diego leading Denver by the score 14-7. Denver 7-3, sitting on top of the West. New England over Seattle 7-6. New England trying to keep pace with the Jets, who won big in a walloping of Tampa Bay. 49ers over KC. Kansas City facing their 7th consecutive loss. And Detroit doing it to Minnesota in the third, 38-7. Raiders leading Cincinnati 6-3. 5 minutes left, third quarter. And again, Esiason running for his life, and again able to complete. Mike Haynes on the tackle of Steve Kreider, a 21-yard pass play. That's the first catch of the day by Kreider.
Steve Kreider doesn't get an opportunity to play that much. He's going to be lined up on this side. He's going to go downfield and hook up. But look at the area in the middle of the field because of the man-to-man coverage that the Raiders are playing that he has to come back to. Down and out. Now he turns around, and there's nobody in the middle of the field. Boomer Esiason, good play to find him.
Kreider, a 7-year player out of Lehigh. A Rhodes Scholar nominee finalist, Steve Kreider. And Esiason now stepping up and throwing. Intended for Collinsworth. Lester Hayes on the coverage.
Tough defensive game, Marv. Both sides playing very well defensively. And as we said, the Raiders, before last week's game against San Diego, in which they gave up 400 yards and a career over 500 yards in total offense, the worst of any Raider defense. Before last week's game, they were number 4 in the National Football League in total defense. After that game, they were number 11. But they're a very tough defense, and the Bengal defense also. If you like pitchers' duels and you like defensive games, this is your type of game.
Now Kreider and Brown to the right, but he goes to Kennebrew. Matt Millen on the stop. So Boomer Esiason operating another long Cincinnati drive, this reminiscent of what took place in the first quarter.
And in particular, the Raiders marched the ball down to this end zone down here and did not get a touchdown or a field goal in one drive and kicked the field goal. I think it's very important for the Bengals to come out of this with at least a field goal, obviously, but they need 7 points to break up the monotony. If they get a field goal, all they're going to do is tie the game.
3rd and 9, 12th play of the drive. And Esiason, incomplete, but very fortunate to get the pass away.
Watch the Raiders here putting pressure on right here with a safety blitz to the outside. Esiason sees it coming. It's blind side now because he's a left-handed quarterback. Tries to get outside the pocket, and then the penetration gets to him. Good play by the Raider defense. Putting pressure, tight coverage in the secondary.
And with 4th down, Jim Breach, who has hit from 39, missed from 37, will attempt from 37 yards away. Kreider is the holder. Looking to tie it at 6. And he does. 3:23 left, third quarter. The Raiders and Bengals even at 6. The 4th stop on the tour, bowling followed by NBC Sports World with the WBA Lightweight Championship at stake. Livingstone Bramble, the man who sent Boom Boom Mancini into retirement, putting his title on the line, taking on Tyrone Crawley from Reno, Nevada. And I'll be on hand along with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco.
What do you like in that fight, Marvin?
I like Mr. Bramble, although I think it's going to be a terrific fight because Crawley's style is such that very defensive-minded. And the Bengals defensive-minded and covering Fulton Walker out to the 20-yard line. So the Raiders and the Bengals tied at 6. And the Raiders back to the offense. Bill Johnson on that stop of Fulton Walker. Livingstone Bramble, your kind of guy, Bob. He has a dog named Snake and a pet snake named Dog.
I see you've already started your preparation for next week's fight.
And Wilson a throw, first down. A diving attempt. Let's see, Marcus Allen. And let's see what they call it.
Pass is complete to Marcus Allen.
And it is a completed pass out of the 27.
Mark, we talked about the Bengal defense. Let me show you right here. Circle these players right here. Now look at the white shirts. That is the 8. That's a gap 8 defense, and you have the corners out here by themselves, and that's why it's tough to run against that defense, but it's a lot easier to throw because the corners are man-to-man coverage on the outside. They want to stop Marcus Allen and take him out of their offense.
2nd and 3. Wilson getting the time, and it was deflected.
Well, that's the best pass defense right there. If you can get your hands up, Eddie Edwards, 73, at defensive front, not a lot of sacks, but if you get penetration in the quarterback space, get your hands up, it's just as good as a defensive knockdown. Good protection, as you see, looking right into that sun. All kinds of time to throw, but right here, you'll see the deflection made.
Looked like Ron Simpkins, inside linebacker, getting a piece of it. 3rd down, 3. Incomplete. And Marcus should have had it.
Ball was there, and I said this, he was looking into the sun, the quarterback. It is very tough when you're throwing, when you're a quarterback looking downfield. It's a sun that is setting over that edge of the stadium, and it's very tough to look back that way and to see very clearly.
And the Raiders hearing it from the crowd as Ray Guy comes on to punt for the 3rd time today. He is back at his 12-yard line. Last week, only one punt against San Diego. And that is Mike Martin back at his 26. 2:19 left. 3rd quarter, tied at 6. Another beauty by Guy. And Martin looked indecisive, and then he is rammed back inside the 20. A 58-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Stacy Turan on the tackle of Martin. Well, next Sunday, join NBC Sports as we continue our coverage of the 1985 NFL season. The early games, Cincinnati and Cleveland, a big one, pitting the Jets and the Patriots. Miami at Buffalo, San Diego playing at Houston. And the later games, Bob and I will be back here at the Coliseum in what could be a battle for the lead in the West, the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Raiders. Talk about tough sun.
There's the sun right there. Now Esiason will have it to his back, but the receivers, as they go downfield and look back, will be looking right back into the sun.
1st down from the 20. And Esiason completes to Eddie Brown for the 1st down. A 19-yard pass play and the first catch of the day for the rookie from Miami.
Well, he's had his problems. Talking with him before the game, he didn't know how he was going to do against Hayes and Haynes. They like to bump and run, jam him. He's got the quickness and the speed, but not the experience to know how to get away from him. And Collinsworth was saying yesterday, he says, what a blessing this man is. We've needed some speed on the other side to take away some of the coverage that Collinsworth was getting, and now they've got it in Eddie Brown.
And Brown picks up the 1st down at the 38. Minute and a half left, 3rd quarter. And again, it's Brown. Oh, he is ripped down. Eddie Brown across the 45.
Sam White says Eddie Brown has the softest hands he's seen in any receiver in a long time. He just comes underneath the defense and he runs away from Millen. Millen's not going to catch him, and Lester Hayes gets over there. Eddie just slides to the ground. 75 is Howie Long. You see he's being double teamed. The center, Remington, is looking over there, just throws away Montoya. I'll tell you, that's a fight in there in that defensive line.
And James Brooks doing the shake and bake. McKenzie on the stop and looks to be right at the first down marker. Seattle leading New England 13-7. So the Seahawks getting back into it. They knocked off the Raiders convincingly 2 weeks ago. They're 6-4, as are the Raiders. And both a game behind first place Denver at 7-3.
Jets have already won, so New England needs that game just to stay in a tie for first place in the East.
Jets 8-3, New England 7-3. Miami with the victory at 7 up and 4 down. That's the end of the third quarter at the Coliseum. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Huge Cincinnati offensive line, despite the fact this has been a low-scoring ball game. The Bengals have really done it up front.
For the most part, Marv, they have kept the size and pressure free, and that's what the Raiders like to do up front. They also like to pressure you with the coverage, and I think that's what's bothering Esiason more than the pressure up front is tight coverage on his receivers. If you look at the third quarter stats, not a lot of rushing yardage or passing yardage. Definitely a defensive game.
Eddie Brown, who has suddenly gotten into the offense. He was quiet earlier. Set for another up. Thank you, Ahmad. We're tied at 6. Just the start of things. Fourth quarter in Los Angeles. Raiders and the Bengals 6 apiece. Cincinnati 2nd and 9 from midfield. And Esiason in trouble. Ball down by Bill Pickell.
Bill Pickell led the team right here, the nose tackle, led the team in sacks last year. As you'll see him hustling, going around number 71. Now he's got the foot speed and the agility to catch up with the quarterback. 12.5 sacks last year, 4.5 this year, playing full time, not just playing against the pass like he did last year.
Second sack of the day for the Raiders. Greg Townsend had the other. Sets it back to 3rd and 20. Now Esiason fumbles, and the Bengals cover up. That's the center, Dave Remington, on the recovery.
Marv, I can't emphasize enough. Look at Esiason looking right down into that sun. Now, he's got to worry about 7 defensive backs in zone coverage. As you see him knock the ball knocked loose and Remington get it. But you also have to worry about the glare in the sun. Now, you can't see as well, so you have to be sure before you throw that ball downfield.
And here is Pat McAnally, punting for the 4th time today in his 10th season out of Harvard, back at his 21. Colton Walker back for the punt. Walker at the 25. Out near the 30, Leo Barker on the tackle. 42-yard punt, 7-yard return. Minute and a half gone by in this 4th quarter. From the Coliseum in Los Angeles, Marv Albert with Bob Greasy as we get underway 4th quarter. And the Raiders start out from their 30-yard line. Mark Wilson is 13 for 25. Marcus Allen to the 35. Robert Jackson on the stop. San Diego and Denver now tied at 14. Raiders come in, losers of 2 in a row. The losses to Seattle and San Diego come off that explosive game, losing to the Chargers in overtime last week, 40-34. 2nd down and 5. And Wilson to put it up. Doki Williams not able to hang on, covered by Lewis Breeden, the 8-year pro out of North Carolina Central.
Mark Wilson sees the blitz coming. You saw him look to his left. They had 8 men coming. Dokie Williams, the ball is there a little bit before he expected it, and he wasn't able to adjust and make the catch. But that is a play that Dokie Williams has had some in his hands today, Marvin, has not made the play.
3rd down and 5. Again, sideline. Dokie Williams. Incomplete. And so the punting unit will come on. We're set for another correction. That last pass was complete, and the Raiders pick up the 1st down as Marcus Allen brings out to the 45-yard line. Carl Zander, the inside linebacker, on the stop. And a look at the AFC West, as you saw a moment ago. Denver and San Diego are involved in a tie, so at the moment Denver with that record of 7-3. Raiders and Seattle at 6 up and 4 down. Seattle up by 6. 2nd down and 6 for Mark Wilson. And Wilson lofts it for Williams. Lewis Breeden with the very tight coverage.
Got to give credit to the Bengals, and especially Breeden and Horton on the outside. We'll see another look at it. Christensen is wide open, but Mark Wilson says, why throw short when you have one-on-one deep? Almost makes a good catch. Dokie Williams and Breeden catches it out of bounds.
And a flag has been thrown.
Both men looking back for the ball. Williams
number
makes
6
the attempt.
offense, 2nd down.
And the call on the right tackle, Henry Lawrence. 3rd penalty assessed to the LA Raiders. There's Lawrence, he and Davis at the tackles. Hanna and Marvin most of the way up the guards. Mosbar the center. Henry Lawrence in his 12th year out of Florida A&M. 2nd and 16. And here's Allen. Marcus Allen nearly breaking it. And a wrestling match for the football. It was whistled dead. Robert Jackson on the tackle along with Reggie Williams.
This is really the first time that Allen, as you see Hanna 73 with a good block, a gaping hole. The first time Allen has had any kind of running room whatsoever, as Williams at the end tries to pull the ball away. But the Bengals have been doing a good job in stuffing that offensive line of the Raiders, not allowing Allen to shake free.
So Allen has gone over 1,000. He's run for 86 yards today, 22 carries. Here's the 3rd down play. Hawkins drops it. So Frank Hawkins not able to hang on, and there have been many drops here this afternoon.
They certainly have. Credit the Bengal defense. They're not fast and quick, but they're very tough and very physical. And this ball should have been caught. It's not a perfect spiral, but Hawkins should have caught it. Looking downfield with Zander 91 and also Breeden, but you got to make those plays.
Ray Guy putting away to this man, Mike Martin. Guy from his 34. Looking to angle. And does. A beauty by Guy. They mark it at the 6. 45-yard punt, so he got the direction and the distance. A look at next week's lineup here on NBC. New England and the Jets in the big one early. And the Raiders and Denver in the key game among the later starts. Check out this reaction on that angle punt by Ray Guy as he saw the indication that, yes, It was a beauty. Marked out at the 6, and Esiason now running out to the 15. So Boomer Esiason, who is one of the better scramblers, runs for 20.
Big play out of the end zone. Sam White's calling this play. Boomer has good blockers down front. Now he runs right into Bob Zeman, the defensive coordinator. Bob Zeman kind of smiles at him, but I'm sure that he was not smiling inside.
So the Bengals starting out from deep in their territory for the second time this second half. They started from the half-yard line in the third quarter. And Esiason throwing for Kennebrew, who had not turned back looking for the pass. Denver now leading San Diego 21-14. Boomer now 12 for 26, 156 yards. Cincinnati Bengals with 3 straight wins, beating Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Cleveland. They've turned it around after a 2-5 start. The other wins over the Giants, and they had an earlier victory over the Steelers. They've lost to Seattle, St. Louis, San Diego, the Jets, and Houston. 2nd and 10. Here's Brown. Eddie Brown on the catch, stopped by Stacy Turan. It is short of the first down, and again a penalty flag. Against Cincinnati.
Holding, 78 offense, 2nd down.
It's the left tackle, Anthony Munoz.
Eddie Brown, a rookie, right here. He's going to be in motion, going to come inside. One of the ways, and break to the outside, one of the ways to beat the bump and run man-to-man coverage is to get in motion. You see the spread that he got coming off the line of scrimmage and breaks back to the outside, scraping his defensive back off on the people inside of it.
And the Bengals now 2nd and 20. Back at the 16-yard line. Big rush. Paquel chasing Esiason. Esiason gets it ahead. Dangerous pass for the tight end, Rodney Holman.
I think 5 people had a chance to catch that ball at one time or the other. Did you see the move that Esiason put on Paquel? Esiason able to stop. Paquel just kept on going. We'll take another look at it. He wants to throw to his right, but the pressure now, Paquel 71. Watch when Esiason stops. Whoa! Paquel says, I'm not that quick. Ball goes right through Holman's hands. 93 Townsend's got a shot at it. About 3, 4 people had a shot at catching that football, but mobility of Boomer Esiason, strong arm, also has quick feet.
And has a 3rd and 20 from the 16. 5 minutes in, 4th quarter. And Esiason able to complete, but short of the first down, connects with Mike Martin. Set for another update. Let's go back to Ahmad Rashad. All right, Ahmad, and some 5.5 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Pat McAnally will punt. That's Fulton Walker back at his 25. Walker trying to cut to the left, but could not. 45-yard punt, short return, about 4 yards. Stanford Jennings was all over Fulton Walker. So the Raiders back to the offense when we come back following these words. And that is next Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC's Sports World. Livingstone Bramble defending his title against Tyrone Crawley. Raiders back to the offense, and Wilson trying to hit Doki Williams. He underthrew, and again Mark Wilson. And the Raiders hearing it from the crowd.
Mark Wilson hearing it because the ball was underthrown, but Here's what Marcus Allen has done today.
Although not carrying the ball as frequently in the second half, he's carried it only 3 times to this point in the second half. Here is Marcus out to the 34-yard line.
Let me get this straight about this fight now. It's a butterfly against a pit bull. Or what kind of match is this anyway?
Once again, the cynical former quarterback going for the cheap line.
Just where you're going to be next week as we see the Bob Zeman drawing up some offensive routes.
I wonder if he can make the arrows and the dips. Slices. Yes. 3rd down and 3. And Allen has the first down. Out at midfield. James Griffin ran him out.
Good blocking on the left side. 73 Hanna and Bruce Davis 79. Hawkins gets in their way, runs him off before he's pushed to the ground. It's a good run and good blocking on the left side.
109 yards, 24 carries. Marcus Allen going over 100 yards for the 6th time the last 7 games. Raiders go double tight end. Christensen and Junkin, first down from the 50. And it is Allen inside the 45. We're set for another update. Let's go back to Ahmad and NFL 85. So the New England Patriots, who need the win to keep pace with the Jets, who are now 8-3. And here is Allen pounding his way for the first down. Glenn Cameron with the reps on Allen along with Robert Jackson.
Good second effort by Marcus Allen as we see what happens with the Raiders when he gains 100 yards. Oh, I can't believe that New England tied that ball game up and then missed the extra point. That's a big ball game for both those teams.
First down from the Cincinnati 39. Nice stiff arm move by Frank Hawkins. Jeff Shue on the stop. We're down to 6 minutes and 15 seconds left in this 4th quarter.
Cutting back to his right, just tough yardage here, a stiff arm. I got to think that the Raiders are just going to kind of nurse this thing down here. Although in this area they like to throw the ball into the end zone, but they've got to feel like a field goal, and this type of a defensive struggle would be enough to win.
Tied at 6. It has been all field goals. And this time they collar Allen. Carl Zander, the inside linebacker, on the stop. Denver now by 4 over San Diego in the 4th quarter. Denver 7-3 coming into today. Raiders in Seattle at 6-4. And also when it comes down to money time, the receiver the Raiders look for is Todd Christensen, and he has not caught a pass thus far today. And going into today's action, the leading receiver in the AFC.
And that's surprising too, Marv, because the defense that the Bengals are using, again, are to stop Marcus Allen. He's gained 100 yards to his credit, but when you do that, you leave Todd Christensen one-on-one a lot of times with a linebacker.
This telecast is being presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Raiders and the National Football League is prohibited. Getting back to the subject of Todd Christensen, what a gorgeous catch he made in the final minutes against San Diego last week to tie the game. That sent it into overtime. Christensen actually plays tight end like a wide receiver.
Well, he started off as a running back. That's why he wears the number 46 in the Dallas organization. And then because of his athletic ability, was able to move to tight end, wanted the number, and I remember last week when he caught that pass, he went over and sat down. He's a character. He is, he writes poetry, doesn't he?
Are you calling all poets characters?
No.
Or all poets who play football characters?
Just Christians.
Or just Christensen. And the Bengal defensive unit has gone to the sideline. We saw the offense do that on a number of occasions, and here they come. Team unity.
Well, it's very important for that defense to get back out there on time, because if they don't get out there in time, obviously, the Raiders could run. But offensively, when they're over there, you know the ball's not going to be snapped until the back is ready.
5:17 remaining fourth quarter. Cincinnati and Los Angeles with 2 timeouts apiece remaining. 8th play of the drive is coming up. It is a 3rd down and 2 from the Cincinnati 31. Here's Allen, and stopped short of the first down. Fort and Crumrye combining.
This is a real decision here, Marv, for Tom Flores. His place kicker has not been kicking that well this year. Barr has not been that good, especially from long distance. He's looking at right now perhaps a 49-yard field goal.
Well, Barr remains on the sideline. 4th down and 2, so that tells us about the faith in Chris Barr. And Wilson has Allen for the first down. An 18-yard pass play. A big play.
It's a good call on 4th down. I'm sure they talked about this in the huddle on the sideline before the 3rd down play. Kemp, 26, is beaten on the play, and Mark Wilson just lays it up. He just wanted to make sure he got the first down and didn't get the ball knocked down.
4:15 left, 4th quarter. Raiders first down at the Cincinnati 13. And it's Allen again. Jeff Shue, the outside linebacker. Bobby Kemp, the strong safety, combined on the stop. The ball is just inside the 9. It'll be a 2nd and 6. A long drive by the Los Angeles Raiders. Hawkins on the slant. Frank Hawkins, in his 5th year out of Nevada Reno, usually used as the blocking back for Marcus Allen. Crowd of 52,501 here at the Coliseum. Capacity 92,000. Tickets sold 59,000. So 6,500 no-shows. Second and 5 from the 8. Under 3 minutes left, 4th quarter. Hawkins peeled off. Allen off the swing. Touchdown. Beautiful play. Allen with his 10th touchdown of the season. 8 on the ground, 2 in the air. And here is Barr. 2:50 remaining, 4th quarter, first touchdown of the day. And the Raiders lead the Bengals 13-6.
The Raiders, Bart, caught the Bengals in a blitz. Something that you'd like to do down near the goal line, especially when you've got a swing pass called to one of your running backs. Right here, the safety is going to blitz. Now, Marcus Allen is the outlet. He's going to swing wide. these two receivers will go in, and nobody will be out here covering Marcus Allen. You see, they catch him in a blitz. Everybody's accounted for. Nobody comes off to cover Marcus Allen. When you're blitzing, someone has got to take the first and second back out of the backfield. He looks downfield. Now he knows. They just get it out in front of him, and my man can run into for the touchdown, the only touchdown of the football game.
Marcus Allen in his 4th season out of USC. Came into today as the 2nd leading rusher in the AFC behind Freeman McNeil of the New York Jets, and having himself another outstanding day. Mike Martin across the 25-yard line. And Boomer Esiason of the Cincinnati Bengals now have 2 minutes and 39 seconds left, trailing by a touchdown, 13-6. Mike Martin stopped by backup linebacker Jerry Robinson, a man who has been used only sparingly since coming over from the Philadelphia Eagles. Many folks thought he would be seeing more playing action. First down from the 26. Kinnebrew. And that did not work.
I'm surprised, Marv, that a big man such as Kinnebrew, 275 pounds, would be running a delayed type of draw where you have to slide laterally across the formation and get into a hole. Obviously, it didn't work, but one thing in favor of the Bengals is the sun is sufficiently set in the west to go below the rim of the stadium that they're not looking into the sun.
Second down, 9. Esiason getting it away. Just flinging downfield from Mike Martin. Again, the pressure by the Raiders, and they've really come on in the second half.
It certainly has. Pressure in the secondary, but really pressure up front.
AT&T, the right choice. Pittsburgh must beat the Raiders to make the playoffs, and Steeler Donnie Shell's end zone interception saves the day in the first half. With 2:24 left in the game and Pittsburgh clinging to a 6-point lead, should Shell play a prevent defense or stop the short pass with tight coverage? What would you do? Side. Having shown earlier that he can't be beaten deep, Shell plays it tight and short, and his game-saving pickoff clinches a must-win. It's on to the playoffs because the Steelers made the right choice.
Boomer Esiason talking it over with head coach Sam Weish. Raiders and Bengals each have 2 timeouts left. A minute 59 remaining, 4th quarter. Moments ago, the Raiders capping off a long drive with the 7-yard touchdown pass from Wilson to Allen. And so they lead it now 13-6. Raiders jumping in front. This set up by the excellent kickoff return by Fulton Walker, and Barr capped it off. Then Breach hitting from 39, a tie it at 3. Barr from 20. Raiders led 6-3. And the Bengals able to tie it in the 3rd quarter as Breach connected from 37 yards away. And here in the 4th, it was Marcus Allen scoring his 10th touchdown of the season. And that's the way we stand. We pick it up with a 3rd down and 9. The Bengals from their 27.
One of the things they were talking about on the sideline, I'm sure, is what do we do if we don't make it? Do we go for it on 4th? And that may have determined what play you run on 3rd down.
Raiders have the extra defensive back, Otis McKinney. Brooks slip. Covered by James Davis. And a 4th down play coming up. Clock is running. As you see, we are now down to a minute and 40. 4th down play for Cincinnati. It's a 4th down and 5. And almost picked off by Davis. Intended for Eddie Brown.
What they did, Marv. They ran the same play twice in a row. The first time they threw it to Brooks, number 21 there. The second time they throw it inside, two receivers right close together. That's not the way you want to run an offensive pattern. The problem was the tight, aggressive bump and run defense of the Raiders drove off the receivers and forced them to alter their patterns and consequently be right there at the same time in the same place.
So the Raiders take over outside the Cincinnati 30 with a minute and a half remaining, fourth quarter. Allen with the change of direction. Gets to the 29.
That was a big defensive series there. Obviously the last play, because that's the ball game now for Cincinnati. 2 timeouts remaining. They'll try and stop the clock.
And with the timeout call, we'll pause for these messages. Series for Cincinnati. Meanwhile, here's Frank Hawkins getting inside the 25 as the Raiders are looking to run that clock down. There's time left in this fourth quarter. Raiders with a 13-6 lead over Cincinnati. Chris Collingsworth came up with a number of significant catches in the first half, but sat it out in that last Cincinnati series.
Well, the thing you need to do now if you're a Bengal is go for the football. There's no hope unless you can get the football and head the other direction, and they've got to be grabbing for the football. Obviously, the Raiders are going to be trying to hold on to it with the extra hand.
3rd down and 4. Cincinnati has 1 timeout left. Down to 30 seconds to go. And here's Allen. Marcus Allen picking up the first down, getting down real low as he looked to put the feint on. And now the Bengals call for time. It's their final timeout with 20 seconds left. And with the timeout, let's get back to Ahmad Rashad. Seattle in jeopardy to dropping to 6-5. The Raiders hang on here. They go to 7-4. And depending on what Denver does against San Diego, Raiders and the Broncos could end the day in a tie for the lead in the West, or Denver, if they're able to beat the Chargers, will remain a game in front. That's the story. Denver leading in the fourth quarter, and as Ahmad just told you, New England moving in front of Seattle 20-13 in the fourth. Kansas City headed for its 7th straight defeat. That would be a club record that after the 3-1 start, and Detroit over Minnesota in the fourth quarter. Marcus Allen with another magnificent day. He has run for 135 yards as the Raiders just run the clock down. Let's see, Allen, 31 carries, 135 yards, 6 receptions for 54 yards. And Sam Weish coming across the field to shake hands with Tom Flores. And that will do it. So no Chuck Noll reception from Tom Flores. And that is it from Los Angeles. Marv Albert with Bob Greasy. Raiders over the Bengals 13-6. Now let's go to Seattle. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen.